He is the soundtrack for Black Lives. I'm telling you.
Man. Wow.
So let's not waste any more time. I want to get right into it, Cedric.
No further ado. Let's go.
Let's bring them on right now.
Yeah.
Gerald Alston and the Manhattans.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Where you at, Troy?
There you go.
There he is.
I see you.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Doing wonderful.
Doing great, man. What's happening?
Man, it is an honor to have you on the show. I mean, it's been a lot going on, and you are legendary in this game. How you been doing, Gerald?
Great. Just getting over this little bronchitis thing here. Otherwise, I'm doing fine.
You're looking great.
Yes.
I tell you that.
Yes.
You're not aging at all, bro. You looking real good.
Good grief.
Man.
Yeah. Wow.
You looking real good. $1 million, man. How y'all fellas doing, man? How's the man at?
Doing great, man.
Great.
Just holding on.
Good, Troy. Good to see y'all, man. Tell us a little bit. I know you got a new project that you have coming out. Talk to us a little bit about that project and where can we find it? How can we get it?
Okay, the new CD is titled Manhattans, featuring Gerald Alston. The Legacy Continues. And you could find it on all the digital platforms and streaming platforms. And you can get it if you want the actual CD. You can go either to, excuse me, you can go to CD Baby, or you can go to Let's Just Kiss and Say Goodbye.com.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazon Music.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the digital platforms, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Good, man. We're gonna make sure y'all check that out. Make sure you get that right away. Can't wait to hear it. What should we expect from this project? I mean, I know you said it's a little bit of the bringing back some of the old soul, but what else can we expect out of it?
Yeah, we went back to our ballads. We got a couple of up-tempo songs on here, but we're using our sound and the sound we've always had, but it's more of today. You know, we have a tune, excuse me, we have one song called Get It Ready. That was our very first release. And that was written by myself and Curtis Dukes, the producer.
Oh, nice.
And it's a mid-tempo tune. And in fact, the new release now, She's Coming Home, is a mid to up tempo tune. But we got some great ballads on there, and we're looking forward to some great things with this.
Great, man. Well, man, we looking forward to it. I tell you, man, I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm gonna download it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And by the way, let me tell you something. Troy and Dave singing their behind off.
Now they killing it.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
The mail, yes. You know, you know, it's like when we got together, it all fell in place.
That's right.
And when they got in the group in what, 93, 94, everything just fell in place.
Man,
that is so cool.
Like never missed a step.
Wow.
That's what's up. Let's get off into this good conversation because I've been wanting to have it with you. You know, coming up for me, I'm a little bit younger than my partner, Cedric. But I remember, man, you being on the Quiet Storm. You know, put a message in a bottle, baby, send for me. You know, that was my era right there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I can remember riding in the car with my girl, man, and you said
didn't have to say nothing.
And you said it the right way. So, I mean, talk to us a little bit about, you know, that where that comes from, that writing, man, and that soul. Where does that come from, man?
Well, the soulfulness it comes from the church. I started out when I was singing like 4 or 5 in church. And my father was a gospel singer. And my uncle, the late Johnny Fields, he was one of the founding members of the 5 Blind Boys of Alabama.
Wow.
I was around gospel singers all the time and singing myself. And plus, my Uncle Johnny's oldest son, Dwight, who sang with us for a while, he's the late Dwight Fields, passed away in 2016. He and I sung together all the way through our early years. We had a group called Gerald Alston and the New Imperials. And we used to sing all over North, South Carolina, and Virginia. And so we carried that with us. We were taught to sing from our hearts, and most of all, know the song. Not just memorize the lyrics, but know the song. And it all started from there. Learning the song and what the story of the song is all about, and you identify with it. The rest is history.
Well, let me cut in. Now, how did you get away with singing gospel and R&B at the same time? Now, I read something where you were the New Imperials and then you were the Gospel Jubilees. So
Yeah.
you actually sung at the same time? How did that work?
Please forgive me with this cough.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Our group was called Gerald Alston and the New Imperials. And on Friday and Saturday nights, we were Gerald Alston and the New Imperials. And on Sunday morning, we were the Gospel Jubilee. And our group was so good. We just walked into church on different churches on Sunday. They have their church programs, and we sat in the back. And next thing you know, we up singing. They were called something. And my father was a Baptist minister.
Wow.
And he told me something a long time ago when I first joined the Manhattans. Because I had an opportunity, at the same time that I joined the Manhattans, my Uncle Johnny had just submitted me to be the lead singer for the Soul Stirrers.
Wow, man. We are quartet heads, so we love quartet music, man. That's us, yeah.
So
wow.
Just as I joined the Manhattans, the Soul Stirrers gig came through, and it was about the same time, but I'd already signed with the Manhattans. And but anyway, he told me that singing gospel, or singing period, is a gift from God. And he said, as long as you're being positive and you're bringing joy, happiness, smiles, making people reminisce about good things and go over their life, he said, you are doing just what he wants you to do. So it doesn't matter whether it's gospel or R&B. You sing it because that's what your talent is. That's what you're given this talent to do, to please and satisfy your fans. And so I never stopped singing gospel. I continue to this very day. I have a gospel album called Gerald Alston, True Gospel.
That is so cool, man. That is so
man.
cool, man.
Troy, what's it like, man, singing with such a legendary singer, man? What's this like for you? What's this experience been like for you?
It's a headache. I quit. It's been a blast, man. It's been an absolute blast.
I wasn't expecting that one.
I'm kidding, man. It's been a blast from day one. That's it in a nutshell. It's been a blast from day one up until this very day.
Wow.
Even in the midst of what we're going through right now, and we all are homesick from the for the road.
Yeah.
We can't wait to get back out there, man.
Do you feel any pressure, to be a Manhattan? Seeing that they're iconic. Do you feel any pressure just to live up to that name, or is it you do your own?
I may have felt that when I first joined the group, and within about a month after me joining, when I first joined, Eban Brown, who was sang a good while for the lead for the Stylistics, he was in the Manhattans, and he taught me pretty much all the steps, between him, Gerald, and Blue. And within about a month, he left, so I had no choice but to come up front. And it was me, Gerald, and Blue up front for a while before Dave joined the group after a couple of months. So I felt that pressure then. I needed to really, like I've heard people say, you got to sell it. You got to make sure you look like you part of this group.
Yeah.
So I did made every effort to do so, and after a while, it fell in line. And then we got Dave into place, and I felt good with the 4 people up there, and it just began to flow.
Wow.
Of course, with Gerald's help and with Blue's help, it just began to flow.
Wow.
If you love what you do,
that's it.
It's gonna flow.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, what about you, man? I mean, how's this been for you?
A dream come true. I mean, all my life, we have a place in Philadelphia called the Uptown Theater.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of it in Philadelphia.
I heard of it. Yeah.
That's where the Temptations and the Dells and the Four Tops and the Manhattans, everybody used to come, and sing there. So I was a little kid. I was about maybe 6, 7, 8.
38.
The 7.
And my brother had a group called the Ethics, and then they changed over to Love Committee. So they used to always sing down the Uptown Theater. And my mom used to take all the kids in the neighborhood to go to the Uptown Theater and watch all these groups, Mark and the Vandellas, all of them.
Yes.
So I used to love it, wow. But then we used to see this group came on, and they had these white gloves on, and they would get on stage and do this boxing thing, and they had the strobe lights, right? And the strobe lights be blinking, and here's I'm a little kid, strobe lights blinking, and all you see is the white gloves, bang, 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 and the band playing, and I loved them, and it was the Manhattans, and so. There was one time, I don't want to keep y'all too long.
No, go ahead.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
One time, we went there, and there was another guy singing. And I'm a little kid, I'm looking like, wow, so what? And it was this other guy that's singing, wow, smooth, killing them. And I was a little kid, we screaming, And so found out later on, it was a new guy, it was Gerald Alston. And so then I had, every time we went home, I had a little group, and I tried to sing, and we always tried to sing like the Manhattans, and we was doing all the dance steps, and had this guy trying to sing like Gerald Alston. I fell in love with them, and they were my favorite group.
Wow.
And my brother knew that I always wanted to sing, trying to walk in his footsteps, whatever.
Now your brother is with the Temptations?
Yes, Ron Tyson.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I was working on the railroad. I ain't gonna tell you the whole story.
I know. Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I had this little group myself in Philadelphia called The Final Touch, and we sang at Uptown Theater, and we won first class. But one day Ronald called me up and said, "Hey man, look, you still want to sing, man? I got these guys, they looking for a tenor." And I said on the phone, I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Well, it's the Manhattans." Man, I almost fainted. I said, "Get out of here." But
that's crazy in itself. Yeah.
So he told me, look, he said, go home, and when I had the group, the Love Committee, Final Touch, he sent me a box of Temptation uniforms. We used to wear Temptation uniforms. He told me, go home and get somebody to videotape me. That back then, the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine from the job. We went to my house. We went in the basement, and I cleared the space out and put a microphone up. And put a Temptation uniform on, with the sparkles on it and everything.
Wow.
And my man started to videotape me, and I started singing one of the songs, we used to sing when I had my group. And so he said, man, why don't you, Dave, while you singing, man, why don't you do a Temptation step, So I'm smiling, man, and I got the mic hooked up. I started doing a Temptation step. Can you imagine that by myself? I'm doing a Temptation.
This is by yourself then.
Yeah, and I'm singing by myself. I didn't know. So I sent the tape to Gerald and Blue. So Blue was telling Gerald the story one day. They were talking, bussing, and Blue go, "Gerald, I couldn't believe this, excuse my language. You know,
Yeah.
remember, Gerald, this guy, he's
Yeah.
telling everybody, Blue telling everybody. So I don't know what he's talking about. He said, yeah, this guy, he wanted the job so bad. Old Tyson wanted it so bad. He had a picture of Martin Luther King on the back behind him and a big picture of Jesus Christ. No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know I was singing in front of the pictures, you know. He talking about John F. Kennedy was behind me too. He said, boy, but Tyson took everything out for trying to get this job. He said, how come we tell him no?
All the pictures were crooked.
I remember Blue telling me, Gerald, you got to see this video.
Yeah, that's what he told me too. Yep.
Wow.
He couldn't stop laughing.
Now, was there a lot of people that auditioned to be a Manhattan, or did
Just Dave and Troy.
Dave and Troy just stick out?
Yep. They came, we didn't have an audition. We just, like Blue brought Troy in, and then Ron called Dave, Blue called Ron, and Ron got Dave to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is like the lifetime of,
Yeah.
wow, man.
Hey, let me say one more thing. Like you asked Troy about pressure.
Yeah,
Please.
Right.
Please.
I believe it. Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's no more pressure than to sit there singing and you see your brother standing on stage, you know, for Temptation with him. I mean, he's like, you know, wow. And he's looking at me at every step I do. You know.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
you go, yo, come here. I'm like, oh man, now what? Yeah, so it's just been a dream. Been a dream.
Wow.
I miss it, man. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Come on, man. Every day when I go to my job, I talk to myself, walking to the bus stop, you know. My car's broke down, you know. Any other time it'll be fixed, you know, under the Manhattans. But hey, you know.
Now, since you are there, since you left your job and you got with the Manhattans, do you feel a sense of accomplishment? You still feel you arrived there?
I feel as though that my dream, yes, has been fulfilled. It's been fulfilled. And God gave me a gift to do this.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
You know, it was him.
That's cool.
Gerald,
You know.
Yeah.
I know you've had some experiences in this music game, man. Talk to us a little bit about, just coming up in this game for so many years, your longevity. I mean, how are you able to last, man? And what all have you just learned, and what can you share?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the guys in the group was the first thing I learned. There was no such thing as a big head.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't play that. And my first big concert, check this out, was in Richmond, Virginia, at a place called the Mosque.
Wow.
And it was Willie Feaster and the Mighty Magnificents, Kool and the Gang, the Spinners, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, Brendan and the Tabulations, the Dells, the Manhattans and the Dells. And we were close to the Dells. And what I loved about them to this very day is that I would always go to their room sometimes after the shows, and they never, ever, ever, ever would say, you sound good if you didn't.
Wow.
And they would tell you, Johnny, what's wrong with you, man? What's you? Why are you acting like that on stage? You're professional. And those are the type of guys I was around. And the group did the same thing. We would get on each other when something didn't look right. excuse me, and I remember that's the way it always was when we worked. And we toured with the Dells, the OJs, and the Shylights.
Oh my God, man!
In
Wow.
the 70s. We were always on tour together. And I'm gonna tell you somebody else I learned something from. Mr. Jackie Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jackie Wilson hadn't had a record in so long when I got with the group. In the 70s, he hadn't had a record in a while. But he would not open the show. If he couldn't headline, he wasn't doing that show.
Wow.
And believe me, you could not come on behind Jackie Wilson. Nobody could.
Wow.
Jackie Wilson was awesome. I seen him when he was a little tipsy, and he still turned the joint out.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with a lot of people. I think at the time, excuse me, that really, my head blew up, but it didn't blow up the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
We opened up for Marvin Gaye on his tour.
Man.
And we toured the whole summer with Marvin. So we had finished this weekend in Rochester. So I was in the airport, and this lady asked me for my autograph, so I gave it to her. And down the other end of the terminal, Marvin Gaye was standing at the gate. And she said, is that Marvin? You think he'd give me an autograph? I said, oh, let's go down and see. I walked down, and I said, because during the whole tour, we didn't ever see Marvin much until he was coming in to go on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him. I said, Marvin, I'm Gerald. He said, man, I know who you are. You're one of the baddest singing brothers I know. And my head knocked all the walls down at Rochester Airport. And I knew Marvin very well. And they had worked with Marvin, and they said, if Marvin was the type of guy, if you didn't, he wouldn't compliment you. He wouldn't say anything at all rather than give you a bad compliment.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He wouldn't say nothing. He was that type of guy. So for him to tell you that, you can rest assured it was from his heart. And, that's one thing I'll never, ever forget.
Wow.
Wow. Well, how did you guys travel? I mean, you're in vans, buses, planes. Well, I mean, what was it like traveling, man, during them times, man?
Okay.
Come on, Gerald, give it to us, baby.
In the early days of when I got into the group in the 70s, I joined the group in 1970. We had a van. And in that van would be 5 singers, 3 musicians, and our valet, and the driver. It was a 15-passenger van. But back in the day, we had to carry all our equipment.
Oh,
drums in there, our costumes was in there.
really?
And we ride from New York to Dallas, Texas.
Wait a minute, you had records out then, and you still had to really?
Lord, black eyes.
My first record with them was in 1970. One Life to Live. We had another tune called I Can't Stand for You to Leave Me was the first song. One Life to Live, A Million to One. And right after then we signed with Columbia Records. And then that's when we came out with There's No Me Without You, that album.
Wow.
But, I've seen some trying days on the road. Good, mostly was good. And there were some other times that weren't so good. Especially when when the promoter walked out the door with the money.
Yeah.
That was
Better believe that. Better believe that. Right.
But we traveled. We started out in vans and cars. And then we moved up to using the coaches, the sleepers, and we used those for a few years. And then we went to we found out it was cheaper at that time to fly than to use the coaches. Because all of our guys was in the area, and a lot of times I was talking to somebody, and they was saying that airlines don't want you to know this, but if you buy a certain amount of tickets and you all going for from the same spot, you get a discount. And that's what we started doing. We started flying, you know, even the guys live in Philly and DC would drive up so we could fly out of New York.
Man.
We started flying, and then we continued from there.
Yeah, what a
Wow.
life, man.
How many shows y'all doing a night or a week? You know, like how was that?
Back in the day,
Yes. Yeah.
we traveled, we'd work 6 days a week and travel on one. And this is back in the Chitlin circuit, when we were doing these little clubs, and a club might hold 100 people, 200 people. And we would go out I remember one year we went out on the road. We were supposed to go out for a week. We stayed out 3 weeks.
Wow.
And another time we went out and see, our manager kept booking dates while we were out there, because some of the dates were for promotion. We couldn't afford to hire promotion people and publicists and all to do the work. So we had to do it ourselves.
Now, were you paid for promotion? Is that a paid?
Expenses. We would play clubs for DJs, and they would make our band would get paid, and they'll pay our hotel bill.
Wow.
And but it all paid off. One thing, you know, we had a promotion person out of Tennessee by the name of Bob Riley, and he said, "Gentlemen, the only way you can really make it in this business, you got to sell yourself."
Man, that's $1 million. Wow. Wow.
And that's what he did. He taught us how to promote ourselves. You know, 6 o'clock sometimes we'd be doing morning drive at 6 o'clock. You know, and then maybe go to another station and you do lunch. You do it at lunchtime, or you may go to another city and do a radio show. All of this, we did radio and promotion like that in between the times we were on the road performing.
And you talk about hustling, man. Wow.
There was sometimes, I remember we did a show in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we had to be in St. Louis the next day. So we drove our band to St. Louis, and I forgot the station, but we were on with a DJ called, his name was Donnie Brooks. Wow. And we got there, we did Donnie's show that morning. Donnie had us play at a high school that evening. We finished at the high school, we jumped on the flight and flew to Milwaukee and did a promotional gig, got off stage, got back on the plane, flew back down to St. Louis and did the show for that night.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Man.
That's the stuff we did. And the next day, in fact, we finished that out, it was an early show we did. Both of the shows were during the day. We flew back to Milwaukee that evening, and the plane landed. It was Ozark Airlines, and 1, 2, 3 of the landing gear blew out. The plane turned around sideways in the runway, and so I'm sitting, Blue and Bob in the back of the plane. And all of a sudden, the pilot said, "All women and children are first."
Excuse me,
y'all. Excuse me, Bob. Excuse me. And Blue and Bob were the first one to get off.
Oh, boy. Wow.
We got to the terminal. Blue and Bob was sitting in the terminal looking at us like, "What took you so long?" It was crazy, man. But, you know, we were all wanted the same. We're reaching for the same goal.
Yeah.
And we all were committed to do it. You know, we'd be tired, and sometimes we'd be on edge, snapping at each other, but we got through it because we all wanted the same thing. And when we got on that stage, it was always like nothing happened. you know.
Man, what a story, man. What a story.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask you about the first time you hit the stage without the Manhattans, when you went solo. How did you feel, you know, being by yourself with, you know, being solo?
It was a good feeling, but I felt naked. And because I'd been used for 17 years, guys being around me. And when when you go on stage by yourself, after singing with a group, I had 4 background singers, female singers, but everybody's looking at you. You don't. There wasn't Sonny and Kenny and Blue all doing their thing so that their attention would be across the whole stage. I was out there by myself, and the fans let me know they appreciated me being a solo artist, but I had to sing Manhattans. I don't care where I went.
Yeah. Wow.
If I did my show and didn't do a Manhattan song, I would get asked, well, what's wrong with you? Why you didn't, you know, the audience would ask, come up for autographs. Well, you didn't sing this song, you didn't sing that song. So it was a thing where my show was a combination of Manhattans and my new material. And I toured with, I toured with all the divas. I toured with Anita Baker, Stephanie Mills, Natalie Cole, and Whitney Houston.
Wow.
And we toured Europe with Whitney, and that was awesome. That was awesome. We did like 4 days with Anita Baker, and she was wonderful. My first sound check that we had, she had me come on stage and sing so that I could hear what she was trying to do. She knew what she wanted to hear. And there were no monitors on the floor except background singers. The monitors were on the arch. And when I went up there, the sound was perfect. I really didn't have to do a sound check. My background singers did, but as far as myself, Stephanie and I performed together. I didn't perform with Natalie. I wanted to perform with Whitney, but Whitney had, when we were in Europe, her show was so up and powerful, you know, she wouldn't, you know, because I was doing a gospel song.
Oh,
and in a gospel song, one of my background singers did it with me. And when we worked with Stephanie did it with me.
Wow.
So, but it was different. It was different. The work was a little harder, but I don't have no regrets about it. I love every minute of it.
Man.
What? Troy, how hard was it for you to learn this material and get into the flow?
Well, of course, I knew the songs. Most of the songs I knew just from growing up hearing the songs, you know. It wasn't that hard at all. I mean, like I said before, I love the fact that I was part of the group. So it didn't take me long. I had the extra to want to learn and learn fast. I learned the steps as fast as I could. I think I learned all the steps within a matter of days because I had no choice. E-Man was getting ready to leave the group.
Wow.
And I didn't have it completely down pat, but I had it enough to fake it till I make it. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And by the time Dave came into the fold, I was flowing then.
Man.
Grinning the whole time.
Man. Well, I mean, what's it like being on the road, Troy, for you? What's his experience been like? You know, traveling.
Like Gerald would say, ups and downs, you know, mostly ups. The traveling aspect of it sometimes can get to be a little hectic, you know, going from plane to plane. And Blue and Gerald used to tell us all the time, y'all are lucky. You and Dave got it good because we doing mostly flying.
Yeah.
Back when they were doing you know, cars and station wagons and bicycles, whatever. But it was still rough. I mean, there was a time when we did a show in Japan and then flew back to the U.S. And the next day we flew to South Africa, 17 hours. Stayed there for a couple of days and turned around and came back home. So that you know, you don't know whether you're coming or going. In terms of a jet lag, but it was all worth it, man.
Would you
All
say
work.
that's the key to being, you know, a touring entertainer? You have to be able to tour. You have to love touring. You have to be able to hit the road. Do you think that?
You get the payoff is when you hit the stage.
Yeah.
I know a lot of artists, big artists, small artists who, you know, we all got something to say about having to travel. You know, you run into these artists in the airport or whatever, and everybody looks tired and beat up. But the payoff is when you hit that stage. When you go to places like South Africa and you come out and you see that crowd, kind of crowd like we've never seen before, like we were the Beatles in their heyday.
Yeah.
That kind of hollering and screaming, you forget all about that travel.
Wow.
You
Wow.
forget all about it.
Man. Gerald,
Hell of a
and you know how much rehearsal goes into all of this, man, and writing it. I mean, how's that work, man? You know, working with the guys, and how's that all come about?
Being that everybody's in different cities, we try to make one rehearsal count. So we have a rehearsal maybe 2 to 3 days or something like that, and we just run through everything. And then sometimes Dave and Troy would come to New York and we'd do vocals and stuff like that. But we worked so much at one point till it was difficult to really have rehearsals. A lot of times our rehearsals were done at sound check.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of times. But Troy, you left out some. You and Dave both. You talked about learning choreography in the steps. What about?
Oh my God, that's right. That's right.
We had Pop Charlie Atkins.
Ooh.
And Blue pulled the wool over Dave's and Troy's eyes.
Yes, he did.
When
Pop did too.
You can tell him, you and Dave tell him. One of y'all tell him.
Come on,
Go ahead,
Dave.
Dave.
I don't know which one you want me to tell.
When you first met
Time me and you were at the airport and he brought Pop out in the wheelchair.
Wait a minute. Well, I mean, I was trying to think about how I'm gonna put this.
Right.
Yeah, it brought him out in the wheelchair. You know, I'm like, wow. Well, you know, he look Troy, look at this guy. You know, can't be that. You know, I'm thinking like, this old man. You know, what are you gonna do? You know,
Right.
Man, we got into the rehearsal hall.
Mm-hmm.
He's what you call he, you know, jumped, you know, got out of the wheelchair. Man, come on, man. His feet, you know, he started bang, and I was like, what? You know, he's telling us to do this. You know, you gotta kick this, boom, kick, hey. And, you know, he didn't just tell us to kick. He was showing us how to kick. I'm
Right.
like, okay, so boom, this kick here, boom, hands go here. I'm like, is this guy serious?
Right.
Man, this guy worked butt off. And I'm like, okay, I understand, Charlie. All right, you know.
We lost about 10 pounds that day.
Wow.
And we rehearsed about what, 16 hours a day?
That's right.
A lunch break or something.
Right.
Man, it sounds like a page right off of 5 Heartbeats there, man. Wow.
Right. Wait a minute, this guy was in a wheelchair and jumped out the wheelchair and worked y'all out.
I think the 5 Heartbeats was based on Charlie Atkins because that was no joke, bro.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
But what it was that Blue was pulling the wool over the eyes, so he had Pop to ride in the wheelchair.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, okay.
And when they walked in there, Pop had his dancing shoes on.
That's right. We were like, what happened to the wheelchair?
I think that song was crazy that we were doing.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And everyday people.
Yeah, everyday people.
Wow. Wow.
Incredible. Wow.
No,
Man. Go ahead.
Something else.
I have a question, Gerald. How do you contribute to, what is it, 58 years you've been in music business now? How do you contribute to being in the business that long?
Well, first of all, it's something I've always wanted to do from as far as I can remember. When I graduated, I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, wow.
And I was singing, but that wasn't in my cards. I wanted to be a heart specialist. And so after I started singing, I realized I was still a heart specialist.
Yeah, I know
That's right.
But
I know that's right. Yeah.
But the lesson I learned from my father and my uncle and the guys in the group, and especially the Dells, I keep going back to them. This is what you do, and you perfect it. You be yourself, and it was something that we loved, and I loved doing it, and I got encouragement from them. You know, we work. Believe me, we work with some headliners. You know, and I remember working with my first gig. The first gig that I went to see, I flew to Dallas, Texas, and the Manhattans were on the show with Supremes.
Man.
Gene Burrell,
Yeah.
Mary Wilson, and Sidney Birdsong.
Yep, Mary Wilson. Yep.
The late Mary Wilson.
Yep.
And I was in love with Mary Wilson. I thought she was the prettiest lady I've ever seen. But they were nice. We hung out together after the show. You know, it was like a group. It wasn't outside people, fans and stuff.
Yeah.
We had they had a suite, and we went up to the suite, and we had food, and we laughed, and we talked, and we had a wonderful time.
Wow, man.
But it was being around those kind of artists gave me the boost to keep going. And when we had those hard times in the Chitlin circuit, I knew that on the other end, something good had to come from it.
Wow. Were you influenced by Sam Cooke also? Because I hear a lot of Sam Cooke in your voice too.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't know how in the world I'll leave Sam Cooke out. That's how, when my uncle knew that I loved Sam Cooke, and that's why he offered to get me the job with the Soul Series. When I was about 15 years old, I used to have Sam Cooke concerts in my living room. I have a little record player, and I put on his records, and by myself, and I sing all of his songs. And but Sam Cooke was one of those odd. He was I think the precursor to Marvin Gaye. He was he could pronounce his words. His enunciation was awesome. Diction. He could tell a story. He could tell a story that a 2-year-old could understand in his singing, in his song. You know, and that's what attracted me. And I think the real thing that got me most of all was the way that he sang from his heart.
Man.
And he sang all those runs and yodels that he used to do. They were never practiced. They were natural. They were all naturally. He would sing, and whatever he felt, he would do it.
Yeah.
And when I did the tribute album to him, I had a chance to spend time with his brother, LC.
Yeah.
And LC told me a lot about him because I never met Sam. And he said he was just a person that sang from his heart. He would sing what he heard. Whatever note he heard, he would go to it, or he could do a run around it. And he was just that type of person. He was that kind of artist.
Wow.
He was my big inspiration.
Man, I'm hoping the younger artists are listening to this, because this is such great history and great knowledge. You're dropping a lot of nuggets there. What do you think about the young artists today? And who do you see that's out there that's reminding you of you and where you come from?
Well, first of all, I used to have an attitude about the music when it changed, because it changes. Music changes every year, and back in the 90s there were some great singers, but I think they lost touch in reality with singing. It was all about the money more than anything else.
Man, that's good.
And they weren't singing, as Troy would, and I have to quote Troy, they were singing tunes and we were singing songs. Okay, and but the music today, there are not many. There's no stand-up groups from nobody but the old school. Boys and Men are still singing.
Yeah,
but it's basically old school.
Edition, new edition.
Yeah, new edition. Right. I was talking to someone the other day in an interview, and it's dominated by females,
Yes,
which is not a bad thing because they cooking with gas, you know.
Mhm.
And I listened to her, this artist, a few times. My son said, "Dad, you got to hear her." And I listened to her. I said, "She sounded okay. She was pretty good." But her, when she
Man.
sang,
Man.
oh my
Whoa.
God,
Oh my
she
God.
killed it. Oh my.
Whoa.
And then she went Jimi Hendrix on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about,
That's what I said too. Yeah.
Yeah.
think about Jasmine Sutherland.
Yeah.
Woo. You take you to church.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, it's like we have to come back around to be. I always tell artists, young artists, you know, be who you are, believe in yourself, but you want to be here a long time. So you want to sing songs, and even if it's rapping, I tell my son, when you're rapping or you're doing hip hop, period, do things that people would remember. Sing songs that people can identify with, you know, and respect yourself, respect the women. Anytime you sing and denigrate a woman, you denigrating your mother, your
Right.
sister, your
Yeah.
grandmother. You know, when you call them out of their names, or it's the young artist today has come a long ways from that, you know. But I just think today we need to have, they listen to us, and I think it's happening in some cases. John Legend
Yeah.
Yes.
at the inauguration, the song he
Right.
did by what's the name? Oh God,
Mhm.
oh God, I cannot call her name. He killed it.
He killed it, man.
Yeah, he did.
Sing
Yeah.
a song.
Yeah.
He killed it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about. I think we got some great singers, some good singers, but we just need to get back. If it's all about, it's lost the thing about the art, because it's all about style and singing, making money.
Yes.
We now, you know, they make quick money, and quick money goes in one hand right out the other hand.
Real quick.
We've been singing for 50 years. There's no me without you. Kiss and say goodbye. Hurt. We never danced to a love song.
Yeah.
It feels so
Yes.
good to be loved so bad.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
it good goodbye. All of those songs people listen to today, and we still sing those songs. You know, all around the world, we still sing those songs, and people remember us, and we get paid.
Yeah. I know that's
Hey,
right.
hey, most of the time.
Yeah. We went when Troy told you about. Now Troy and Dave can tell you about South Africa. He only gave you a little bit of it.
That's right, very little.
Every time
What
you
happened?
I get a feel.
What happened, Troy?
I
We
get it.
went, the first time we went was in '96, which mind you was 2 years after apartheid. And when we got there, we're in the airport, and we're looking outside into the street as we're waiting for our luggage, and it almost looked like the Million Man March out there.
Yeah.
We're like, well, wait, it must be a special holiday. What's going on today? She said, no, they are waiting for you. We're like, what? And from that moment forward, it's been pandemonium.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go,
Oh,
it was
Oh,
absolute
man.
madness.
oh,
And they told
man.
us, you guys are our brothers that come home. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two, most of the places that you're going to perform, we weren't allowed 10 miles within the, near the area. Or they would be shot or thrown in jail. So for them to actually come out these venues was a miracle in and of itself. And then to have the Manhattans, who they listened to during these rough times,
Yes.
actually come to their country and perform for them. That
Wow.
was mind-blowing.
Wow.
Number one group.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, you
Right. It was crazy. We were only supposed to do about maybe 4 or 5 cities, Gerald. Is that right?
We were supposed to do 4 days, and we ended up doing 15.
Good.
Right.
grief.
Almost stayed a month.
Now, to this
We didn't
day,
wanna go home.
you guys are still just as popular in South Africa now, right?
We performed in cities that no other international artist has ever performed in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Manhattan.
We were scheduled to go to Cape Town this month, but because of the pandemic, it's been moved to 2. And the last time we went, The last
They
time
ain't just not finding out, man.
we were there with Regina Bell, and it was awesome.
Right.
We had a
Yeah.
ball. You
We
know,
went with Dennis and the Temptations once too, and it was awesome.
Oh wow, Dennis Edwards, yeah.
We went with Steve Harvey once, and it was awesome.
yeah.
Wow.
That's right. I forgot about that. Mm.
And some of us cried at the airport.
Everybody,
We had
hey,
to
look,
leave.
crying
That's
on
right.
stage. Everybody cried on stage.
That's right. We were crying like babies.
And
You
look,
look out into New Orleans. You ever see the concerts with Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
And people on the stage and they came
Yeah.
out on stretchers, ambulances on side. That's how
Yeah.
it was.
Man, that had to be crazy.
And do you know?
I went to the store to get a pair of socks. I had 16 security guards with me with Uzis.
Mhm.
That's how we had to travel in the neighborhood. It was crazy.
We opened up at the Standard Bank Arena in Johannesburg, and we were in the tunnel doing the overture. When we started singing, the building vibrated.
Mhm.
That's how loud they were speaking.
Man, that's crazy.
They
and look,
sung every song. We sang for 2.5 hours. They sung every song with us.
Every song.
Man,
Mm-mm.
wow.
like,
Man,
That's wow. Good
like
grief.
Gerald was talking about the music, they got through apartheid listening to the music of the Manhattans
Yeah.
Right.
and the meaning of the song. You know, it brought them through, man. And
Man.
then just to see us there, woo, man.
Did that give you guys a sense of ministry as a service?
Oh my God.
Come on.
Oh,
Wow, man.
I
They
need to
took us-
go to see my son. I mean, no. But,
they
Yeah,
took us to the schools where the little kids go to school.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, these kids aren't going to know the song. Trust me, they know the songs. The doors open up, the kids come running out, little bitty kids. And they were
Yeah.
singing Kiss and Say Goodbye, all the lyrics. It
Yeah.
brought tears to our eyes.
Mhm.
Man, that's crazy.
Then we went 2 years later and performed for the King of Swaziland.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
introduced us to all his queens and went to his palace. They met us at the border with 4 brand new Mercedes-Benz. It says a Mercedes on a license plate. And we all had to ride in our own Mercedes up to his
Yeah.
palace. It was amazing.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Amazing.
Wow.
Goodness.
Wow, man.
We can
Man,
go on and
what
on,
an
man. We can go on and on.
I could just
Man, what an experience.
We'll
Yeah.
start crying if we talk too much about it.
No,
Yeah.
wow, man. I love it. I love it, man.
I'm thinking about this date we just missed. Golly, man. Come on.
It's 9 o'clock.
One day, I go there for one day. Come on.
Yeah.
And we were in Africa, South Africa, and I went to the bank in Johannesburg. And my wife was
Mhm.
and she saw the security guard locking the door. So she came across the street, and because she was curious what was going on, they closed the bank. And everybody came downstairs to take pictures and sign autographs. And the bank president came down and said, now that you closed up my bank, I know you're going to take a picture with me. And
Close the bank up? Wow.
they closed the bank up
Yeah.
45 minutes, taking pictures.
Mm.
Grief, man.
That's
Wow, that's amazing.
Do you
What
guys
an
you guys ever look back at your videos, your old videos, and just wonder, you know, I guess look back and feel how much you've meant to the people. Do you ever look back and say, wow, man, how much influence we had and how much people really love your music? Do you ever look back at that?
All the time. I do.
yeah, and that's why we are still together. Because bringing joy to our fans is everything. We are, the Bible speaks of servants. You know, if you follow Jesus, you become a servant.
It's good.
And that's who we are when we walk on that stage. We're out there to serve the people. And they don't do us a favor by coming, we don't do them a favor by singing. They do us a favor by coming to see us sing.
Man, it's big. Yeah.
So
Wow.
we give it to them,
Yeah. Wow.
you know?
Wow, man.
Wow.
Lyrically, Gerald, it's just the songs have so much meaning, even to this day. Talk a little bit to artists today who are writing and trying to break into the business. you know, if you had to give them some type of advice on reaching them, you know, really writing from a real meaningful, you know, spirit, what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, first and foremost, you have to put God first, and number one. Number two, you need to learn the business. And when you, as a writer, from what I've learned from the era that I come from with singing, we wrote songs and sang songs about, and even to this day, we sing songs about everyday life. You know, we talk about making love, we talk about breaking up, we talk about cheating, but we talk about in a way that's really the way it happened. And when you do that, people will respect your songs, they'll listen to your songs, and they will remember your songs.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll be around a long time. You know, it's a difference, again, between a tune and a song.
Yeah.
And we wrote songs, and there are a lot of songs that we have turned down because they didn't have that storyline, that hook line that we like. You know, we wanted our fans, most of all, young people or your fans like to sing with you.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah.
And so when you get out there and start yodeling, doing all kinds of
Exercise.
sing that with you.
Yeah.
You know, you can do some runs and do emotional things, you know, but you want to sing. So if your fans want to break out and sing a line with you, they can do it.
There are artists who are like Keith Sweat, people like Keith Sweat. You know, he's not out there doing a whole bunch of runs, but Keith Sweat been around a long time.
Sure has. Wow.
And he's got some great songs and great music.
Yeah.
And he's still relative today.
Yeah.
Not a whole bunch of running.
I went to see Keith Sweat, and I'm not gonna call the name of the other artist because they became big and they had hit records, but they were on stage grabbing their crouches and running all across the stage.
Yeah.
Keith Sweat came on stage first, and he tore the form
and killed him
up. Other artists came on stage, they was jumping all on the monitors, taking their shirts off, and that didn't happen.
Right.
We had the experience, and he went out there and he was on first, and he showed him.
Yeah.
He killed him.
Took his time. We did quite a few shows with Keith Sweat, and it's a great show every time.
Man, before we let you go, man, I want you to talk a little bit about working an audience since we're on this subject. You know, a lot of artists struggle with knowing how to really work a crowd, you know, how to really appeal to the audience in a live performance. Talk a little bit about that and give some advice to artists today on how to really, you know, work their skill on the stage.
It's, excuse me, what you do on the stage, you get into the people. Some artists go out there and sing to themselves. And when you sing to yourself, you're not helping it. You have to go out there and be a part of it. Let the people be a part of you. Make that connection. You know, you may pick one person that you may sing to, that you may go start messing with, and pretty soon you got somebody else over here wanting you to come over there and touch them or say something to them. But it's all about giving from your heart on stage, being real, and knowing how to open a song, start a song, knowing how to end a song without just cutting it off. You know, you want to leave the fans wanting more, but you got to give them what they want to hear and make them a part of your performance.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Man,
That's beautiful.
Nuggets all over the place, man.
And basically, the top thing on all of it is be humble to your fans.
That's right.
Be humble.
Yep.
Shake hands, sign autograph.
Give them time.
You know,
Yeah.
Give them time.
Wow.
Wow, man, thank you so much. This
you.
has been an honor.
Yeah.
This has been an honor, man. I just this is unbelievable. Wonderful interview. Iconic. Before we go, the new project, one more time, talk to us a little bit about it, and where can they find it?
Okay, it's titled The Manhattans, featuring Gerald Alston. The legacy continues. And so we have, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we actually have 5, 6, we have 7 new songs on here. And then we did a live version of Kissing, Say Goodbye, Blue was with us, and Shining Star. In fact, it was taken from our live album in South Africa.
Oh, nice.
And we got a version of Forever by Your Side. And again, you can go to CD Baby, you can go to Amazon, Spotify, you can go to all the digital platforms. Stream it, buy whatever song you want from it, download it. And if you really want to buy the album itself, right here.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
You can go to Let's Just Kiss and Say Goodbye, or you can order from CD Baby.
Wonderful, man. Make sure y'all go out and do that. Get this project. You're going to love it. When can we see you on tour? We want to catch you guys, man. I know we got COVID right now, but
got Dave jumping ready, baby.
That's right. He's ready, bro.
My luggage is packed.
That's right, mine too.
It looks
like,
the way it looks, we have we're supposed to go out in April, and the show got moved because of COVID. So it looks like we'll probably be going out near the end of the summer. We got a date in August, a couple of dates in August. So we'll probably start in August and work back through. Because all of our dates will move either to the end of the year or into next year.
Fantastic.
Well, Gerald, man, y'all make sure y'all get some tickets for me and Sid. Y'all get to Chicago now.
We're there.
Y'all come to Chicago.
You got it, man. You got it.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah.
I got a big family in Chicago, so y'all
We
got
can't wait to go to the Chi-Town.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be there. But, man, thank you, fellas, so much for, your time and
it was an honor.
Sharing with us, man, so much wisdom.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing I want to leave our fans with. First of all, you can look us up on Facebook. You can go to our website. We're on Instagram. You can follow us. And the most important thing is this. Wear your mask. Keep your distance. Follow the CD guidelines. Because the variant is worse than the actual COVID-19.
That's for sure.
And just stay safe.
Yeah.
Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Wear 2 masks.
Man,
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Double up.
And if we do that and do it right, this could end, or it can be, and it can get to a point where we can get back to some kind of
normalcy.
Yes, absolutely. We love you guys, man.
Yeah,
love y'all, bro.
Yep.
Thank you.
Love you right back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate this. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. Make sure you go out and get that Gerald Alston and the Manhattans. Make sure you get it.
Yes.
Make sure you go out and get that. And I'll also download, stream it, and hit them up on Instagram. Are you on Twitter too?
Yep.
And Twitter.
Yep.
And Facebook.
Yep.
Y'all hit them up. Cedric, that's all I got, man.
It's been great, y'all. An honor. An honor.
Thank
Peace
you.
out, y'all.
Thank you, man.
Peace. We out of here later.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Later.